If my next flight is on a Boeing aircraft, should I cancel it? In the time it took you to ask your question, thousands of Boeing aircraft have taken off or landed safely. Regardless of the issues Boeing is having right now, you still have a significantly higher chance of being in a car accident on the way to the airport than having serious problems with your plane. No, retired engineer from the aerospace industry. Millions of people fly every day, roughly 40 on Boeing aircraft year. The reaction our regulatory bodies are having to these extremely statistically insignificant if it were numbers not people's lives accidents should reassure you. These planes have to be so safe that millions of passengers fly daily and no accidents happen for years on end. John Oliver just did an episode on this and included a list of their good planes that don't have safety issues vs their bad planes. I took 2 international flights, one with a layover just a couple weeks ago. Had no issues whatsoever. Remind yourself that the times that the plane ride is uneventful and successfully makes it to their destination. It doesn't make the news. I have flown on at least 5 or 6 MAX planes since the incidences. It scared the shit out of me when I realized I got on one not knowing that's what type of plane it was, and almost walked off. I hastily did some research to reassure myself that I would be fine and stayed on the plane. I don't like flying at all, but it's something I have to do to see my family. One of the things that used to scare me a lot was turbulence. I read that it's more like your plane is suspended in a gel mold and someone is shaking the mold which causes the plane to wiggle around. The truth to this I am not sure, but it has helped me stay calm during turbulence. Also, my cousin is a pilot. I asked her if she is ever afraid of getting on the plane and flying. She said nope, it's just like driving a big bus. That also helped me stay calm a lot. I'm always nervous about flying, but remembering those 2 things helps me get from one place to the next. I hope this helps you, my friend, and know that you're not alone with your anxieties. I hope you are safe in all of your travels. I flew on a Boeing 757 this past Saturday. Can confirm I'm still alive. The chances of you being in an accident are absolutely tiny, and there's nothing to suggest that older Boeing planes like the 777, 747, or 737 non-MAX have any issues. The 787 has also not had any serious safety issues, so the only one of their planes which could be considered unsafe in the 737 MAX. Even so, as mentioned, you're very unlikely to be involved in a crash even on the 737 MAX, but personally I don't want to support a product designed so incompetently and lazily that it killed 346 people, so we'll always try to avoid the MAX on that basis. But if I did end up on one, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Any MAX that is currently in service will have had all the critical FAA/EASA airworthiness directives checked out, so you should be fine. Any other Boeing aircraft type, you'll be fine. 737 NGs are perfectly fine too, having been in service for some 30 years now. I'm not really following the latest news, but isn't one of the problems with Boeing the fact that they silenced one of their whistleblowers? First thing I've thought about when I read this question is whether they should support a company with such practices, and not if it's safe. No. I flew in a 737 MAX 5 days ago, and then a regular 737 3 days ago through Alaska Airlines, and I'm still alive to tell you it's fine. More likely to get hurt in a car accident on your way to fly in the Boeing. Absolutely. Boeing planes have been safer than any mode of transportation you'd take on the ground for decades. Still a safe way to travel. Is this what happens to people who spend too much time on the internet? You're caught in a hyperloop. You have a greater chance of being killed by a bison than you do in an airline crash, Boeing or Airbus. Just don't fly United and you'll be fine. 10K domestic flights a day in the US. Not a single death on one of these flights in years. Not a single crash in years. I do the match on that every time I'm about to fly. These things don't crash. Still get nervous, but looking at the numbers helps me every time. The issues have been there for years, now they are public knowledge. So what's changed?